Happy Monday, knitters. I'm Louise from Wildflower Wool, and it is Monday, which means that this is a brand new episode of New Start Monday Knits. I have got 2 new projects cast on ready to show you. I have updates on last week's 2 new projects, and I also pulled out some projects that I had cast on earlier in the year to give you a quick little update on what I've got finished. I have a couple finishes, and I have a tiny little bit of an update on my sweater knitting. So let's jump in as always with my finished dishcloth for this week. This is the rice stitch, which to me looks very similar to a fisherman's rib. And you get the effect of the rice stitch by doing a knit one below stitch. That's what gives these the ribs, but the actual knit stitch really gives it that really nice stitch definition is the knit one below. So this pattern rice stitch, it is just a 2-row repeat, and I will put it in the drop box below if you would like to cast on and knit one with me. Now if you want to cast this on as a dishcloth, I would suggest really small needles, because look at, there's a lot of stretch in here. And if you want to use this as a dishcloth and get it wet, I think we're going to want it really knit tighter than this one is. I knit this on a 3.5 millimeter needle, which is pretty tiny. I have my needle here. What is this? So there it is. And for some reason I knit my dishcloths on straight needles. I'm not sure why. So that is a US 5. So it is small. So if you cast this on for dishcloth, go tiny needles, because we want it to kind of hold its shape. Anyways, really fun, just a 2-row repeat, and it was fun to do. I think it would make a really pretty scarf pattern. Just let that textured stitch show off in a scarf. And there again that's the back side, which is just as pretty. Just a little different, but that would look nice as a scarf or a dishcloth as well. Okay, did I mention I'll put the pattern in the drop down box? If I haven't mentioned that already, I will do that, so you can knit along with me if you want to. My other new start from last week, I didn't get too much done on it, but it is my sock. It is a little, well, the sock's not going to be little, but the amount of knitting that I got done this week on it is little. There's my toe, and my toe's not even finished. I didn't even manage to get all the increases done this week, but that's all right. I'll just keep plugging away on it. I have 4 more increase rounds, which means I have a total of 8 rounds. 4 increase rounds with a plain knit round in between those. And then I will be up to my 64 stitches. I want, yeah, so 64 stitches in the round, total 32 on each needle. That is what I'm working up towards. And I mentioned last week that when I do toe up socks, I started with Judy's Magic cast on. So that is, you can see right there is my cast on edge, which is already joined, obviously. That's the beauty of Judy's Magic cast on, and that's the inside, just for fun, so you can see that there is no bumps, no seams, no anything going on there. It is a pretty easy cast on once you get the hang of it. It's pretty rhythmic, going back and forth, getting those stitches on the needles. And then I do my increases by making a yarn over. Now you might say a yarn over, because your first instinct when you hear yarn over, you're thinking eyelets and you're thinking little lacy holes, right? Not necessarily. So there is, I don't know if you can see it, the yarn's pretty dark. I don't know if one side is any easier to see, but there is my row of increases. The yarn's probably too dark really to see it. Maybe I can try to take a picture and post it on Instagram. But there's no holes. You can't see any holes there, can you? And that is really all I want to show you. So on the one round, I'm doing yarn overs, 4 yarn overs, 2 on this side and 2 on this side. When I come back, and what would normally be my plain knitting round, I am knitting plain in the fact that I'm not doing any yarn overs or doing any increasing, but in those yarn overs, I'm knitting through the back leg of that stitch. So that closes up that yarn over so you don't get a hole. You get an increase, but no little lacy hole, no lacy eyelets. And I don't know, I find it easy to do that on my socks because I'm not worrying about a make one left or right and having to think that whole process out. I just do the yarn over and then close it up on the next round. I get my increase, easy peasy, and I don't have to think about it. And I like how it looks. So that is how I do my toe increases on toe up socks. So I still obviously have a long ways to go. I'll be happy if I get my 8 rows done on here and get my toe done and maybe a few rounds worked on the foot. We'll see. We'll see what kind of mood I'm in this coming week. See how much I get done on this toe up sock. But I like knitting with this yarn. I already have a pair of socks knit in the same color. Different pattern and different construction. So I don't think it's going to bother me that I have 2 socks done out of the same yarn because they're going to look totally different. The other, what else? I might as well show you my other sock while we're talking about socks. My flamingo sock. One day these socks are going to be finished. I feel like I have been talking about these socks forever, telling you how much I love this yarn. But I didn't get a whole lot done on this either. Now, if memory serves me correctly, I think I had just barely started doing my heel flap. So I've got my heel flap done now. At least, well, I think it's done. I should double check. I should double check my measurement before I carry on and actually turn the heel. But I'm pretty sure I've got 2.5 inches here for my heel flap. So just a little slip stitch pattern there for the heel flap, make it extra durable. I just have to sit and turn the heel, which will just take me a few minutes. And then I'll be onto the foot. So, you know how much I love this yarn, so I won't spend a lot of time telling you how much I love this yarn. It's Flamingo by Songbird Fibers, which is one of our local dyers. But I got a few rows done. That has been the story of this week, is that for most projects, it has just been a little bit on everything, except for one. Which, I'll show you that next. This is what I knit on the most, and it is a finish. My purple Mistake Rib scarf is finished. So this was 2 balls of classic wool. I must have started this 2 weeks ago. Anyways, I started it the 1 week. I knit 1 ball, a 100-gram ball of Patton's classic wool, and then this past week I knit the 2nd ball. And this is it. So I really like this. This again, another mistake rib, another version of a rib pattern, but I really like the texture. I like the stitch definition. I like the stretchiness. It's really soft and squishy. I really like how this turned out. This is a definite keeper pattern. And again, this was just a 1-row pattern. And if you haven't done the mistake rib, I will put that down below too, because this one, if you haven't done it, I would really like you to try it. I like it. And it's finished. It is finished. This is going to go into my gift box because purple's not my color, so it won't be something that I'm keeping for me, but I definitely think somebody will get a lot of wear out of this. Now, I did measure this because somebody asked me how long this was going to be, and it ended up 88 inches long. Let's model it a little bit here. So I think this was exactly what I was looking for. Yes, perfect. I wanted something that I could wrap around twice got lots of room here. I think probably don't want to tie your hair up in the scarf, but you get what I'm talking. But anyways, it's long enough. We can wrap it around. And the other way, of course, is doubling it, wrapping it around and putting the ends through and wearing it like this. Perfect. This was exactly what I wanted. I like this when your vision actually turns out what you were hoping for. I wanted a skinny scarf that was going to be nice and long, to be exactly able to wear it in those two ways. Perfect. I like it. I like it. I really like it. Done. So I already have a finish for May, and it's May 4th. So 4 days in, and I have a finish already, and 2 balls are going into my ball band box. So I will set this aside, and we'll take a look at it again the end of May for the Finish Friday video. Okay, that takes us, oh no, I have one more thing. One more project. Oh, I should probably show, well, most of these are not in project bags, but anyways, this is the project bag. That was another gift that I received from a friend, and it is holding, remember my black alpaca boucle lace weight yarn? Here it is. It doesn't look a whole lot bigger probably than when I showed it to you when I first cast it on. But I did do 4 or 5 rows on it this week. Oh, and it does feel so soft. So soft. I'll show you the ball. I've got lots of yardage here, and there's a strand. So this, like I said before, this is going to take a long time. If anybody has knit with boucle, you know that boucle and black are 2 things that really should never go together. But I promised I was not going to complain because I bought this of my own free will, and now I have to knit it without complaining. So all I'm going to say is that it takes a little concentration to make sure that you're actually knitting your stitch. Oh dear. Okay, I have it tangled even just in there. So those little nubs, those little boucle, it just takes a little extra concentration on this one. You got to watch every stitch. But man, the softness of this, and look at, you can just see how light and airy that is. It's going to be really pretty when I get this finished in, you know, about 5 years. I don't know how long. It's going to take me a while with only doing a few rows at a time. It's going to be a while. But anyways, I just thought I would pull it out and I would show it to you, that I hadn't forgot about it. Anyways, this is a slow process, slow progress. Let's jump right into new starts for this week. I decided that I am going to keep going with this I Love This Cotton banana colorway because I got last week's dishcloth knit out of here, so I still have lots of yarn left in here. They'll probably get two more dishcloths. This one here that I've started, and probably another one out of this ball. So I think I said earlier that I seem to be kind of gravitating towards these ribbed stitch patterns. And the trend is continuing on for this week. This stitch pattern was called a raised rib. And this stitch pattern is using a knit through the back loop and a purl through the back loop. Now I'm going to show you. So this is the back side. And it really looks, can I get a good view here? It really just looks like ribbing. Nothing too special on the back side. But are you ready for the front side? Look at this. Does that not look exciting? Look at that texture, and look at raised rib. Just like the stitch pattern calls for. But isn't that, oh, there's maybe a better angle. Doesn't that look great? This one here, it is still a 2-row repeat, but the repeat is, it's a 4-stitch repeat. So you do have to think a little bit, but not too much. Is definitely worth it. So that's just the little bit that I cast on today and got started. This, again, I really like it. I think so far, out of all the dishcloths I've knit this year, trying out different stitch patterns, there was that one that was called double knit that really just seemed like the slip stitch heel pattern. It was a slip stitch pattern. It wasn't anything that I really got excited about. It was orange. I remember I knit it out of the conch dishy. And yeah, it was okay. It was thick, but it wasn't something I'd be like, ooh, I would love to knit a scarf out of, right? It was fine for a dishcloth. It might be all right for a pot holder kind of thing too. But I don't know, these ribbed patterns, I am loving these. Like, I'm thinking that these would be great scarf patterns. So I'm really using, my dishcloths have got 2 purposes this year. I have a friend, Sam. She and I have kind of got our own little friendly challenge going on to see how many dishcloths we can knit amongst ourselves to see who can get the most done. And then we're also trying to get at least 1 done a week so that we end up with 52. So we will see. I'm sure she's going to get way more done than me. So, but what I'm really using these dishcloths for are basically like gauge swatches, because if I find a pattern that I really like, then I will turn around and use it into a scarf pattern, or maybe eventually a sweater pattern. Anyways, I'm having fun trying out these new stitches. Some of these are new stitches for me, and some are ones that I'm just revisiting that I haven't knit in quite a few years. So it's fun to go back and give them a try. Cast on number 2 is a color work project. So I picked these 3 balls. Again, this is some classic wool, but it is the DK weight. And I grabbed these 3 colors. Let's see if I can. All right, let me see if I can. Okay, apple green. And the purple, I've already taken the ball band off, so I can't tell you what colorway that one is. And flagstone is the gray. So what I really wanted to, what I started basing this project on were these 2 colors. I wanted a green and I wanted a purple. And I wanted a 3rd color, so I just went with a neutral to add into here. Now what I've got started today is truly considered a gauge swatch because I'm going to have to pull it out. But look at this. This is going to be a scarf, and that is the pattern. And I'm really, really, really happy with the pattern. The only reason I'm taking it out is my gauge is too tight. And if you've done any color work, if you've done any color work, you know that typically your gauge is a little tighter. And I did go up a needle size bigger than I thought I would have normally used with this yarn, but I'm still thinking it is just feeling a little too dense. And because this is going to be a circular scarf, so it's just going to be like a tube scarf. I cast on 88 stitches, and I'm just going round and round and round, and I'm just alternating my colors in a specific way. So I'm using 2 colors per round and then alternating colors. And this is how it's knitting up. So I really am happy with my colors. I like how the pattern is going. I think I'm just going to take it out and go up at least a full needle size, maybe even 2. And I don't know, I'll just have to play around with it because you never know until you try it, right? But overall, I'm happy with the colors. So that, you know, the tension part, I'm thinking it's too tight because it's going to be double thickness anyways. I didn't do any ribbing on the bottom because what I want to do is put a fringe. I will just take, oh, I should show you this. So that's what the inside looks like. And I'm just going to close up the bottom of this tube by putting tassels on the bottom. So this is off to a good start, but it's going to get pulled out. But that's all right because it was really fun knitting it, and I have no problem pulling it out and restarting it over again. This is one I know I'm going to knit on a lot this week because I'm really excited about this. And the dishcloth, that'll get done because I have been keeping on track. I've been getting at least one done every week. So we're gonna, hopefully I just didn't jinx myself, but we're gonna keep that trend keeps on going. Get that dishcloth done, get a lot done on my scarf. So hopefully I'll have a good chunk of that to show you next week. My sweater is the last thing that I worked on this week. And you know what? I did not work a lot on this. And this is what I really thought I would have worked a lot on because I really wanted to get my sleeves picked up, the stitches picked up on my sleeves and got those worked, but it just didn't happen. The scarf, that just doing that mistake rib scarf, that seemed to be my go-to. I was happy just picking that up. When I was watching a movie, binge watching something on Netflix, that was the thing. It was kind of like my comfort knitting for this week. It was easy. It was no brain power involved at all. And maybe that's why I didn't pick up my sweater because this just requires a little bit of thinking and planning. And all I got done on this was I just put a little rolled collar on here. I picked up my stitches all the way around. I've got a tail here that I haven't woven yet. There it is. So I picked up all the way around the neckline. And I just did about 3 or 4 rounds of knitting. And then I cast off and I'm just letting the edge curl. And I think I'm happy with that. This is really, I just wanted something very simple. This is the back, so you can see where my edge was where I picked up stitches, but that you're not going to be able to see once you're wearing it. All you'll see is this front edge. And I think I'm happy with that. It just looks very casual and relaxed. I don't know, if at the end, if I'm not sure, and if I think I do want a little bit of ribbing, I can just take it out and rework it. So I don't know. I think I'll have to try it on because I think I almost sound like I'm trying to convince myself because this is what I wanted, was just something simple, something very shallow. I didn't want a big lot of ribbing on here. But then, I don't know. I think I'll have to try it on and see what it looks like. So that may get changed or it may stay the same. I guess we'll wait and see. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do. So we'll wait and see what the verdict is on that one. But anyway, so that I will hopefully get at least one sleeve on the needles this week. And that is it for me. Those are my new starts. That's the progress I had from last week. I'm pretty happy, even though most things just got a few stitches on them, but I did get a finished scarf. So I think I'm going to call it a good week. So I hope that you had a great week knitting last week. I hope that you have a fantastic week of knitting coming up. So leave me some comments. I'd love to know, as always, what are you working on? Are you getting anywhere as close to having something finished? Let me know. And if you're knitting dishcloths, I would love to see some pictures of them. You can well, really post anything, and you can tag me. Use the hashtag New Start Monday Knits. I know a few people have posted some new starts. I know Donna Jean, I saw, I'm not sure if it was Facebook or Instagram already today, that she had cast on her second sock. So that's pretty excited to see. I love seeing what other people are starting. I think new starts are something fun, and we all need a little bit of fun going on right now. So post some pictures, tag me in them so I can see them, and leave me some comments below. And I look forward to chatting with you this week in the comments. And I will see you back here next Monday with 2 new starts. Have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.